Subscribe to African Tales and Reviews by Loveth.
Can love be bought with luxury? Achalugo had always believed in dreams. She held on to them the way a drowning man clutches at a lifebuoy, desperate, determined, and defiant. But could dreams survive in the face of persistent poverty and a man who seemed to have everything she thought she needed, except the one thing she truly desired, respect for her craft? In a narrow corridor of a Face Me I Face You compound in Bariga, Lagos, Achalugo lived with her parents and younger brother. Their one-room home smelled of kerosene and memories. She was the beauty of the compound, with her light skin, almond eyes, and curves that made women jealous and men confused. A first-class graduate of theater arts from the University of Lagos, she had dreams bigger than the four walls that confined her. Every morning, her voice echoed against the zinc walls as she rehearsed monologues. Her dreams were loud, but the industry? Quiet. Too quiet. She had been to more than 20 auditions, each one ending with the same lines. "We'll get back to you." On a warm Thursday morning, Achalugo made her way to Victoria Island for another audition. She wore a confident smile. The venue was a five-star hotel, tall, majestic, and intimidating. As she entered the hotel lobby, her eyes met a man's, tall, light-skinned, dressed in an expensive white Ikoyi with a red cap and an aura that screamed influence. Odogwu, they called him, known for his wealth, generosity, and commanding presence in the Eastern elite class. Their eyes locked. He approached. "Hello, beautiful. What's your name?" She hesitated, unsure of his intentions. "Achalugo." He grinned. "A name as beautiful as its owner. Can I have your number?" "No," she said politely. "Please. I'll only call if you want me to." After 5 minutes of back and forth, she relented. "Fine. Here." He said he had a meeting upstairs. She nodded and walked away. But he didn't forget her. Not for a second. When his meeting ended, the audition was still ongoing. He waited. He watched. And when she came out, tired and disappointed, he offered to drive her home. "I live on the mainland. It's far. It's in a ghetto," she said. "I don't mind," he replied. In his 2023 Lexus SUV, he drove her through the gritty streets of Bariga. The contrast between his world and hers was blinding. When they arrived, her parents were seated on wooden benches outside, discussing NEPA and fuel scarcity. He stepped down and greeted them in flawless Igbo. Her father's eyes widened. Her mother's smile stretched. Her younger brother, Ibuka, gawked at the car. "Daddy, Mummy, this is Odogwu," she said. "Welcome, my son." Within a week, Odogwu became a frequent visitor. Bags of rice. Envelopes filled with money. Even Ibuka got a new phone. He declared his interest openly. "I want to marry your daughter. She's special." A month later, the unimaginable happened. Odogwu, without warning or fanfare, bought Achalugo's family a duplex in Ikoyi. A cream-colored mansion with marble floors, glass stair railings, and a gate so high it seemed to scrape the clouds. It was a world away from the cramped Face Me I Face You compound they had known all their lives. The day they moved was surreal. Her mother wept, not from sadness, but joy, and clutched the keys like they were holy relics. Her father walked around the house in stunned silence, running his hand along the polished surfaces like he didn't believe any of it was real. Ibuka ran from room to room, opening doors and laughing like a child tasting freedom for the first time. From shared toilets to in-sit bathrooms. From carrying buckets to pressurized showers. From fetching water from a neighborhood borehole to chilled bottled water in the refrigerator. But Achalugo wasn't impressed. One evening, during a dinner he had arranged at a luxury restaurant in Lekki, the tension finally cracked through their polite conversation. Over a plate of jollof risotto and grilled prawns, he leaned in and said, "I don't understand why you want to act. All these actresses, rebranded prostitutes. You're better than that. Start a business, any business at all, and I'll invest." Her heart dropped. She placed her fork down slowly. "You don't respect what I love." He sighed, exasperated. "It's not real work, Acha. I want a decent wife." That night, when she got home, She told her parents she wasn't interested. Her mother screamed, "Do you want to die in this poverty?" Her father looked betrayed. "So, you want to waste this chance? I want a man who respects my dream." Odogwu doesn't. He doesn't want me to act. "Then don't," her parents chorused. Even in the arms of luxury, Achalugo felt strangely out of place. The house smelled of imported wood and new beginnings, but her heart felt tight, like it had lost its rhythm. The grandeur came with strings, ones her parents reminded her of daily. "Look at what he did for us," her mother said every morning, clutching her silk wrapper as she paced the sitting room. Only a foolish girl would reject such a man. Her father, once quiet and reasonable, joined the chorus. "You can act in your spare time, but marry Odogwu first. Secure your future, then chase dreams." Odogwu didn't slow down. If anything, he intensified his pursuit. Lavish dinners at restaurants with chandeliers that twinkled like stars. Weekend getaways he booked, but she refused to attend. Bouquets of roses large enough to hide behind. He even hired a business consultant to draft a proposal for a fashion boutique. Her name would be on it. Head fund everything. "You'll make money," he told her one evening over grilled lobster at a private lounge. "You'll be respected. Not like all these actresses on Instagram." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. Respect? From who? People who only saw her as a beautiful face on Odogwu's arm? Every day, she snuck out early, dressed in plain jeans and a scarf, boarding BRT buses to attend auditions across Lagos. Sometimes they called her in. Sometimes she sat for hours and wasn't seen. Many times it ended with, "We'll get back to you," which they never did. But she kept going. She clung to those moments, the click of her heels across studio floors, the feel of a script in her hand, the rush of reading lines aloud. Those were the only times she felt real, unfiltered, untouched by expectations. She began to journal her feelings. Pages upon pages of dreams, doubts, and defiance. In those scribbles, she reminded herself why she started. She wasn't just chasing fame. She was chasing freedom. Voice. Identity. One night, Odogwu visited with a velvet ring box, placed it on the table like an unspoken promise. "I'm patient, Acha," he said, his eyes soft but laced with warning. "But patience has limits." She looked at the box, then at him. He didn't see her. Not truly. He saw a trophy. A prize to complete his image. A woman shaped by his standards. Later that night, as she stood on the balcony of the Ikoyi house, watching the city lights flicker like restless dreams, she whispered to herself, "I came from Bariga, but I don't want to be caged in Ikoyi." Her dreams were not for sale. And though her family bathed in marble, she was still bathing in questions. Would they ever understand? Would he? Would she have to choose between her dream and her family's comfort? The wind blew gently, but her spirit raged. She would not be tamed, not even by a man called Odogwu. Another evening, they were seated in a high-rise restaurant that overlooked the shimmering lights of Lagos. The type of place where the waiters wore gloves and the wine list came in leather-bound books. Odogwu had arranged the dinner, private room, soft jazz playing, a bottle of imported red wine already breathing on the table. Achalugo sat opposite him in a black dress, elegant and modest. Shed picked it deliberately. No slits, no bare shoulders. Just grace. Yet, she felt his eyes scan her. Measuring. Calculating. Halfway through the grilled sea base, he dropped his fork and leaned forward. "I don't understand why you want to act," he said. She paused. "We've had this conversation before." "Yes, but you never really listened." He poured more wine into her glass. "All these actresses, rebranded prostitutes as I call them. You're better than that. I have said this before, start a business. I'll invest." Her heart dropped. Not because his opinion was new, but because he said it so casually, as if it were truth. "You don't respect what I love," she said quietly. "It's not real work, Acha. It's pretend. Glitter and noise. I want a decent wife." She blinked slowly, holding back the storm inside her. "What does that mean?" He smiled as if offering a gift. "Open a salon. Or a boutique spa, supermarket, whichever. You'll make money. You'll be respected. No one will call you names. So, to be respected, I have to give up my dream? You call it a dream. I call it foolishness. The waiter returned to ask if they wanted dessert. Odogwu dismissed him with a wave. Silence stretched between them. He reached across the table and held her hand. You're not like the rest of them. That's why I chose you. She withdrew her hand. But you want to turn me into them. He frowned. You think I'm your enemy? I think you want a puppet, not a partner. Odogwu leaned back, the mask slipping from his face. The gentle smile turned into something else, disappointment wrapped in pride. Bariga is in your blood, he said. No matter the designer you wear, you still think like a girl from the gutter. The insult hit harder than she expected. You're right, she said, rising slowly. I am a girl from the gutter. And somehow, I still have more dignity than you. She walked out, heels clicking on marble, each step a declaration. Outside, the night was hot and loud. Cars honked. Hawkers shouted. Lagos moved with chaos and rhythm. She exhaled. The driver he had sent to follow her approached her. Madam, should I take you home? She nodded. In the back seat, she thought about Odogwu's words, and the pain cut deeper. The following day, Odogwu sent flowers. 24 red roses with a note. Forgive me. I only want what's best for you. She didn't reply, but her parents did. They begged, pleaded. He's trying, Acha. No man is perfect. He only wants stability. Her mother cried. You've changed. You weren't raised to talk back to men. Her father folded his arms. You'll regret this when you're 30 and alone. She stared at them both. You think I'm ungrateful, but I'm just waking up. That night, she rehearsed lines for an upcoming audition. Her voice cracked from repetition. Her eyes were swollen from tears. She lay on the bed staring at the ceiling. What did she really want? Freedom. To fail on her own terms. To win without being caged. The next morning, she received an email, another audition. A small part. No money promised. But something to do. Something to fight for. She wore her best wig, powdered her face, and left before the sun rose. Odogwu's call came while she was waiting in the reception room of the casting office. She ignored it. He called again, then sent a message. Come to the house. Let's talk. No fights. Just us. She almost smiled. Even his text sounded like negotiations. The audition ended. She wasn't sure she nailed it, but the director smiled faintly. Maybe it meant something. Maybe not. She returned home to her parents, whispering about her. What if he leaves her for someone else? She doesn't know what she's throwing away. She walked past them. In her room, she looked at herself in the mirror. A girl from Bariga. A girl with a dream. Still standing. Still choosing herself. One humid Wednesday afternoon, Achalugo sat by her window, flipping through the pages of an old script. Her dreams had begun to fade like the ink on the paper. Faint, almost forgotten. The door creaked open as her mother entered to call her to the dining table to have her meal. You haven't eaten today, she said gently. Achalugo shook her head. Not hungry. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost ignored it, but something told her to pick up. Hello? Hello? Is this Achalugo? A deep, unfamiliar voice asked. Yes? This is Ghanian, producer of Broken Frames. I saw you at an audition some months ago. I never forgot your performance. Would love to offer you a role. It's a supporting lead. Shooting starts next week. Her heart stopped. Are you serious? She breathed. Completely. Well, send the script and contract by email. Congratulations. When she ended the call, she screamed. A long, joyful scream that startled her mother. Mummy, I got a role. Her mother blinked. A real one? Yes. But her joy was met with a frown. You better forget it. If Odogwu sees it, he will be angry. You know he doesn't like this acting thing. I don't care, she yelled. You should, her mother snapped. He changed our lives. This house, the generator, the fridge, everything. Because of him. Achalugo stood, trembling with anger and resolve. He didn't buy me. The following week, she immersed herself in the role. Long days on set. Short nights of memorizing lines. She felt alive for the first time in months. The movie premiered 5 months later at a cinema in Lekki. She wore a stunning emerald green dress that hugged her body like a second skin. Her hair was in a regal updo. The cameras loved her. Her name trended on social media that night. Odogwu didn't show up. The next morning, as she sipped tea by the poolside, he arrived. No bouquet. No smile. Just silent fury. "You embarrassed me," he said, his voice low but laced with thunder. She stared at him, unshaken.
How?
"You acted in that movie. You stood on the red carpet like one of them." "One of who?" she asked, crossing her arms. He hesitated. "Those women. The ones who flaunt themselves. For everyone to see." She took a breath. "You don't love me. You love the idea of me. Quiet.
Polished.
Controlled." He looked wounded, like someone had reached into his chest and squeezed. "I love you enough to want more for you," she whispered. "I love me enough to want more from you." He left without another word. Weeks passed. No calls. No flowers. Just silence. Her parents were livid. "You drove him away." Her mother shouted. "He never saw me." Achalugo shot back. "You've changed," her father added quietly. "This acting thing is beginning to get into your head."
No.
"It's beginning to help me understand who I am." She kept working, supporting roles, minor features, a few scenes here and there. The pay wasn't great, but it was something. Enough to help out at home now and then. Enough to prove she wasn't chasing shadows. But she was far from the limelight and far from financial stability. The mansion Odogwu bought was a constant reminder of everything she hadn't yet achieved on her own. "You're not getting younger," her mother reminded her every Sunday morning. "Do you think opportunities last forever?"
Her father chimed in.
"They'll take him if you don't say yes." "He wants a puppet, not a partner," she replied. But no one listened. Some days, doubt crept in. What if she was wrong? What if she was too stubborn? What if her big break never came? One night, after attending a small premiere in Surulere where she had barely 2 scenes, she sat on her bed and cried. Silent, helpless sobs. The mansion felt too big, too empty. But even then, she didn't regret standing her ground. She stood on the balcony one evening, watching the Lekki Ikoyi bridge light up like a Christmas tree. Traffic moved like lazy lava. She closed her eyes and thought of home. Bariga, the crowded streets, the smell of akara and kerosene. That was where she learned to dream. It was where she learned to fight.
Her phone rang.
Odogwu. The screen lit up like temptation. Her heart skipped, but her fingers didn't move. She let it ring. Again.
And again.
Would she pick up? Would he try again? Would her family ever let her breathe? Do you want to know how things truly ended between Achalugo and Odogwu? Was it a happy ending, a sad ending, or something unexpected? Hit the like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Let's hit 100,000 views to unlock the truth.